What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 113 of the Missed Call Podcast. This is Cubwood, and as always, I'm here with AllStar Tori. And alongside us today is Buddy Reed from the Oakland Athletics. Buddy, thank you so much for stopping by.
What's good, guys? Thank you for having me.
This is a long-awaited episode. We've been working on this one for a little bit, and we're very excited to have you on. What we got to start with first, it seems, is the situation that you've been put in this year with coronavirus and being a minor league baseball player. Where are you in the whole process, and how has everything affected Buddy Reed during the COVID times, if you will?
Well, it's been tough for everybody. Unfortunately, I lost my uncle to the virus, but
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh yeah, it's fine. At the same time, I obviously think he's in a better place. The world we're in right now is really tough, with everything, not just coronavirus going on, but the whole thing of police brutality, and then on top of that, just like the government and everything. So there's a bunch of different things that are going on. But the good thing about it is baseball sort of gets your mind off those things to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? You come in every day, you see the crew of guys that you're with here at the alternate site, and you just build relationships with those guys. Like I said, it's very tough because we sort of do the same thing over and over. I mean, obviously, like baseball games, you're doing the same thing over, but it's just a little different because we're showing up. We're playing at the San Jose Giants place right now. Games are a little shorter, obviously, and everybody's doing whatever they can to be ready for that call or that opportunity if they get it. So we're making the best of it, and we're enjoying our time here for sure. They've accommodated us so well, and it's just a matter for all of us now, just getting that call and being ready and improving while we're here.
Right. Of course. That's probably the most important part, is improving while you're there. I think it's interesting when I asked that question, I meant it in a way of like, how has coronavirus affected the baseball side of Buddy Reed? But I love the fact, but I love the fact that you answered that question as a real human being, because a lot of the times people like us, the podcasters and the reporters of the world, can get kind of locked in and think like, oh, well, Buddy Reed plays baseball, so the only thing on his mind must be baseball.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, man. There's so much going on.
But I find it. I thought it was awesome that you answered the question that way. So being the minor league baseball player, we heard a lot with the negotiations that happened a couple of months ago between baseball and the MLBPA. There was a bunch of negotiations. Being that you are in the minors right now, I know I've probably said that way too many times already here in the first few minutes.
You're good.
But,
you're good.
But what kind of hand have you been dealt in that way?
I mean, I got the call actually around the first call that I was coming here. It was probably, it feels forever ago. What is it? March had Corona. We left. April. I'll be honest with you, I don't even remember. All I know is I got a call saying, hey, we need you to be ready. You're coming to the alternate site. Obviously, after the trade, I was very happy because they, believed in me to come here and get better. But for me, and for the guys here, we have a wide range of guys from all the way up from 17, 18, all the way to early 30s. So like I said, it's really for us, it's just about getting better. As a minor leaguer, I'm not a part of the CBA. I'm not a part of the players union.
Okay.
But with the guys that are here that have time in the big leagues and stuff, they have more of a sense and idea of what's going on. So it's always good to ask questions, you know what I'm saying? At the same time, some of those things are sort of, and a lot of people say it's out of your control, right? So what do you need to do? I mean, obviously, yes, of course you want to focus on yourself. But for me, as a leader, I want to help the younger guys, you know what I'm saying? The younger outfielders, the younger kids here. And then, of course, I want to help myself at the same time. And with the coaching staff and the guys around me, it's been awesome. They welcome me with open arms. And like I said, the fact that I'm here is just a blessing. And so as a minor leaguer, my job is to, one, lead by example, two, lead with my voice, because I'm very talkative. I'm an only child. So whenever I'm with people, I always like to talk. And then at the same time, get better, work on the things that I need to work on, my approach at the plate, defensively, offensively, and just keep my body ready, because in life and in things like this, you honestly never know what could happen, regardless of whether you're on the 40-man roster or not. And so it's just, like I said, a matter of staying ready, staying positive more than anything, and communicating with your friends and most importantly, your family, because sometimes we get into such a long routine where we don't get to talk and see our family that much that I'm not gonna say we forget, but you know how it is. Like baseball players, we're so locked in. Or sometimes your parents are like, "Oh, we don't want to bother him because he's so focused." But family's most important, for real. So I guess
What was,
that's sort of my answer.
what was the hardest part about staying ready from March to July?
The hardest part, to be honest with you, it wasn't that hard. I'll be honest with you, because I mean, for a lot of, well, all of baseball players, really, we've never had a summer. You know what I'm saying? We've never sort of had the time off from March to July, where of course we could do what we want within the confines of the laws of your state and coronavirus and everything. But I was living in Florida, so I guess sort of sad to say the Floridians really weren't taking it too too seriously. So we were. I mean, hey man, I'll be honest with you. I was at the beach like every other day. I was jet skiing every other day. But with doing all that and having that free time, I was also able to sort of unwind, relax, and think about like my spring wasn't the best, but I also had a lot of positives from it. And then it gave me a lot of time to reflect. Once again, go back, see the things I needed to work on, and then it's not like I wasn't doing stuff. Like I was more than ready to come here. And now that I'm here, like I think I believe I've proved it, and I will continue to show that I'm ready. That I am a big leaguer, just in the minors right now. But like every day I would hit, throw, reflect, hit, throw, reflect, and then it got to the point where then we started doing live VPs and stuff. And then, like I said, once I got that call, I was like, hey, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's just keep doing this, and let's get me out to California.
So if I'm correct, you're in a situation where, let's say, Laureano or Marcana go down, then you're in a situation where you can be called up and make your debut at any point.
To be honest, I
Right?
don't know.
Are you on that taxi squad or whatever they're calling it?
Technically speaking, yes.
Okay.
Obviously I'm not the GM. I don't know, but like I said, I wouldn't put it past. There's no knowing what could happen, whether you're on the 40 man or not. So for me, like I said, it's just coming out every day, showing, giving them the reason to call me up, but also just be here and to improve as best I can, and to definitely teach the younger kids the game, because we have some really good talent coming through the minors at the really younger levels.
Well, and that's kind of the thing when with the Oakland A's is like it just seems like the farm system never stops. It's just this endless locomotive that just keeps pumping guys out. And that's part of the success of the organization is just great prospect after great prospect. And it's never, at least to me, it's always seemed like it's not necessarily like a grand slam prospect like a Moncada or like a Bryant when he was in the minors, right? It's just a consistent flow of guys. What is it about in your short time there? What is it that you've noticed that makes their minor league system so much better than others?
Well, to be honest, I came from the Padres,
Which is another great minor league system.
Yeah, exactly. Another great, highly ranked minor league system with arms and just talent. I mean, obviously, you see freaking Fernando Tatis doing what he's doing. Like I got to play with him pretty much his whole way, and he skipped levels. I didn't get to do that, but I mean, you can see why he skipped levels. I mean, he's
Right.
going to be, if not already, the face of baseball. But for us, I mean, I would just accredit the guys up top. You know, the ownership group, all the scouting department, the directors, all the people that they've gotten here to help these kids and grown men succeed. I mean, they have a prospect, AJ Puck, who's like my best friend. He's homegrown, so like they're not shy and they're not afraid to like find that talent. You know what I'm saying, and then develop them. But yeah, pretty much, it's just a credit to the guys upstairs. I mean, they're all super nice, super genuine, and they have a really good eye for talent. And it's one thing to draft someone or to sign someone, but then it's another to actually have the right guys around them, like especially here, the right staff and group of people around you to help you develop, maybe not just on the baseball field, but off. Like, hey, make sure you get your stuff done, and this is how we do it this way. Of course, every organization is different, but then in life, like certain things and how we live, we have to do it like this way, or you know, there's certain ways you get looked at. But I'm just so fortunate and so grateful to be in this position. I just want to thank the Oakland A's for training for me and allowing me to be here. And I really just can't wait to see what the future holds for me here with this organization and with the players around me.
In 2018, you were in the futures game, and you mentioned you with Fernando Tatis Jr., but also Bo Bichette was there, and your former teammate Pete Alonso was there.
Yeah.
Did you know these guys were going to be the future faces of the MLB that back then?
To be honest, I didn't know much about Bo. I did a lot of things with him off the field, like in the off season, to where I then did build a relationship with him, and we still do communicate. With Pete, it was something totally different. I knew Pete from day one. Pete called me before we were even roommates freshman year of college, and he was like, "Hey man, I just can't wait to be your roommate and to come into Florida and just ball out and get drafted junior year." I feel like from there it was sort of like, okay, this guy is super optimistic. He's probably going to be something. You know what I'm saying? And then seeing Pete, the first time I ever saw Pete hit, I was like, oh shoot, like yeah, he's probably gonna be some big. And then just seeing him go through the ranks and all the homers in the minor leagues, the Futures game, the Fall Stars game, and just seeing him and how he's developed and grown into a man and stuff. I told people, like, every time people ask, I'm not surprised. Like that's Pete. That's like what he does. And it's cool to see that, like, he went from college to where, I mean, I'm sure you saw Z60, all the stuff that he had to deal with from the younger years to now. I mean, it's all a credit to him just working hard. But he did have a really good group of guys around him throughout his life. I feel like that guided him the right way to help him deal with some of those things. And like I said, I'm just so happy for him and so happy to see how he's gonna, I mean, probably be who knows, maybe a Hall of Famer, easy 10-year vet.
Oh yeah, that seems like a foregone conclusion already. Now, you said you had the opportunity to room with Pete Alonso at some point. How long has he been known as Big Meat Pete?
As who?
Oh, is that not a known thing?
Wait, Big Meat Pete?
Big Meat Pete is a nickname that floats around Twitter and things for your friend Pete Alonso.
Are you serious?
I promise.
My goodness. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not on Twitter that much, so I wouldn't. Wow, that's crazy. We used to call him Pistol. The coaches
Pistol
at Florida
Pete
called him
is a good one.
Pete. Yeah, sweet.
A little
sweet
less
Pete.
vulgar.
Yeah, of course. Sweet Pete, Sweet Feet Pete. Pete had a bunch of nicknames. Obviously, he has the polar bear now, and I guess Big Meat Pete or whatever. but no, I actually have never heard that one. So I guess I'm actually gonna text him after this and tell him that I found out he has a new nickname.
Buddy, I thought Sauce made that nickname up. To be honest, I thought he.
That's what I'm saying. I swear to you, I've never heard that. But
just credit Sauce. Credit Sauce.
I respect it.
So going back to that Futures game, the outfield to start that game was pretty phenomenal. Joe Adell, Taylor Trammell, yourself. And what I found that was really cool about that, and what we've had a lack of, I think, for a while in baseball, is African-American players in baseball. There's not a ton. It's a conversation point that we have a lot. And to have what I think are going to be three future all-star outfielders in the same outfield, and then Tori Hunter's your head coach. That's a really good feeling, I would assume.
Yeah, no, it was an unbelievable feeling. Such an honor, such a blessing. And that whole sort of thing and how it sort of molded. Like, I was hitting really well and high that year. Sort of people were starting to just come out with, hey, this guy's going to the Futures game. This guy's going to the Futures game. And I was like, wait a minute, like, do I have a chance? Like, and a lot of players know, and of course, like, they're gonna say, oh, they don't, but like, your numbers, your numbers we take pride in that stuff. So I knew my numbers. I was like, wait a minute, like, I'm a switch hitter. I have a lot of stolen bases, a lot of home runs. Like, I have a chance. And then my farm director called me and he was like, we just want to let you know, along with Tatis and Luis Urias, you're going to the Futures game. And I was just like, I almost broke down a little bit, just because, like, I mean, that's a big accomplishment, I feel like, for me and for minor league players throughout history. And it was a huge honor, like I said, going there. We saw the Museum of African American History. We did have quite a lot of African American players there, which was really cool to see. Like you said, in the outfield, I mean, Hunter Green was pitching as well. Brian Hayes at third.
Yeah, that's no slight to the rest of the position players that were there.
It was just, like I said, an unbelievable experience to see all those guys together, and that the African American men in this world, we can play baseball. We like playing baseball, and it's cool to see that there was a lot there, and we do, as African Americans, want to bring more African Americans to play the sport, because It is a beautiful game, you know, and it's also a challenge. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of kids shy away from the challenge, but at the same time, there's so many of us, and it's not just about color that accept it. And I think that's part of the reason why I chose baseball, because it's a challenge, and two, just to show, I guess, African Americans that, like, regardless of what sport it is, we can be good at anything, and not just Africans. White people can be good at any sport. Asians, any sport, anything in life you put your mind to, you can be good at. It's just a matter of surrounding yourself with the right people. And whenever you hear someone negatively trying to impact your life, just let it go through one ear and out the other.
So then, like I said, Tori Hunter is your head coach, and that's a Hall of Fame outfielder. Was there anything that you took away from the experience that you had with him? I know it probably wasn't an immense experience with him, but still an opportunity. I know that there's a video floating out there where you're on the top step, and you said something when Pete's at the plate. You're like, "There's going to be a mistake here," and then Pete hits a fucking moonshot. And you're talking with Tori Hunter. Is there something that you took, even in just that small interaction that you may have had with him, that you now implement or that you think about frequently?
Yeah, I mean, well, fortunately enough, which is crazy. I mean, my agency and Tori Hunter are all linked. So Tori was in
Oh, okay.
the same is and still is in the same agency, and his son as well. So I got to meet him a couple times before that and talk to him. But then even just having him be my coach, because like I was at his house, what I think right after that anyway. But like just being able to talk to him, and I mean, I even got to talk to Big Poppy. But seeing those guys, like Torrey Hunt is a Hall of Famer, played 19, 20 years in the bigs. Getting his feedback on like how I swing and how I throw and all the little intricacies of the game, hearing it from someone like that was just like a huge, like once again, a huge honor. And like you don't necessarily expect those things, but being able to go, it was unbelievable.
Meeting him for the first time, was there like an aura to him? Because I feel like a lot of people, when they meet all-time great athletes or whatever, there's always an aura story behind him. When you saw him, were you like, holy crap, it's Torrey Hunter?
Well, to be honest with you, so like, okay, growing up, really quick backstory. I didn't really play baseball that much. I always
You're a
was in it, but I was hockey. Hockey guy was my sport. So of course, growing up in the Bronx, I watched the Yankees probably all time. Jeter, favorite player, all those guys. But once I got older and I started to realize like, hey, I switch hit, and hey, like I wanted to look up to an African American center fielder or just any center fielder really. And Torrey was one of the greatest at the time. I mean, I remember him robbing Barry Bonds in the AllStar game, and I was like, I want to be like him. So then, like you said, meeting Torrey Hunter in person was like, at first it was like, oh shoot, like wait a minute, like this is actually, you know what I'm saying? Because like he has such a vibrant personality and a great energy about him. Like when you first meet him, it's just like, oh, what's good? Like I'm Torrey, and it's just like, oh shoot, like that's the same guy that's robbing home runs and played 19 years in the bigs, and he made it to the show when he was like 21. No, probably even before that. But it was just once again just a great honor going there, meeting those guys, and playing in the Futures game.
Yeah, it's got to be a phenomenal moment in the start of your career. Obviously, there are many momentous moments to come, but that's got to be a great place to start.
Yeah,
Most definitely. So we're always kind of intrigued with the minor leagues, and we know sometimes it's a little bit of a crapshoot, and sometimes, especially in like the transportation and things like that, and how you get to games, it can be a little different. Do you have a minor league story where it was just like, shit, because you hear guys like I think Arenado.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I mean, shoot, the first day I was in Lowe after short season, like the first year. Great spring training, had so much fun, hot as hell in Arizona. First road trip, first day we leave. It's snowing in Fort Wayne in April on our way to Bowling Green, where it's snowing in Bowling Green and it's like 20 degrees. The absolute worst time of my life for the first. And I was like, damn, this is what Pro Bowl's going to be like? Forget that. I'm trying to do something else. But yeah, it was crazy. Oh my gosh, terrible.
Buddy, I have another question about this. In the minors, they have some of the oddest mascot names and like team names.
Oh gosh, trust me, I know.
What is the worst one you've come across?
Oh man, to be honest, because I'm honest, Sod Poodle at the beginning was like, what the hell is this? You know what I'm saying? No disrespect. Love the sod poodles, love Amarillo and everything. But at first we were like, yo, can we come up with another name? What even is a sod poodle? It's just a little like hamster thing that's in the wild. But then,
Oh,
but
it's
then
a
I was
real
thinking,
thing.
yeah, it's a real thing. It's like a rodent. And I was like, you know what? Forget it. We're here. Let's just play. We're the sod poodles. And then what happened? We ended up winning the Texas League Championship, which was pretty cool.
There you
But
go.
yeah, I mean, that I wouldn't say it was a bad name. I was just super unique, super weird. Like no one really would. Who would want to name sod like a mascot a sod poodle? But to be honest, I don't really know of like. I mean, Tin Cap's kind of a weird name too.
That is a weird one,
It's a
but
weird
it's a
one.
good one.
The bee. I don't like the bees. What's a good one?
Isn't there another one that's like the tacos? Isn't there a minor league team out there
Oh
that's like
yeah,
the
I mean
tacos?
the Corpus Christi and the San Antonio Missions. We were the Flying Chanclas, and the Corpus Christi's was something. I don't know, man. These
The flying
whoever comes,
chanclas?
the Flying Chanclas. Whoever comes up with these names, man, they need to figure it out. But no, it's all in fun. I feel like. I mean, it adds a little bit of sort of entertainment to the game because I mean, to a certain extent, I guess we are the entertainment. But no, I played for some weird names.
Well, yeah. Would you rather be a
Name
sod
teams.
poodle or a rock hound?
I didn't get to play for the Rockhounds. Technically speaking, I am an aviator to a certain extent, which is a cool name, but I would rather a hound, right? A dog. Yeah, I'd 100% rather be a dog than a rodent.
Yeah.
Oh. Buddy, you mentioned that you're a switch hitter, and
Mhm.
growing up, I taught myself how to switch hit by playing wiffle ball, and I'm just really curious how you got into switch hitting and how you taught yourself.
Oh, okay, yeah, my mother actually. When I got on the tee one time, like I said, when I was younger, I didn't really play, but you know, my parents got me into sports, acting, a bunch of different things. But my
Acting?
mom was like, yeah, my parents wanted me to do so much different things. But yeah, so I don't even remember what side I started, to be honest with you. You'd have to ask my mom, but I remember she was telling me I used to hit on one side and I get tired as hell, and she's like, just go to the other side and just do the same thing. And that's how switch hitting came about. And then I stuck with it ever since. I got into high school. One of my coaches told me not to, but then another coach told me, don't ever let someone tell you not to do something you're capable of doing or good at. And from that day forward, I never stopped switch hitting. And even when people were to tell me to stop, I just tell them tell them nicely that I'm not going to. But yeah, if it wasn't for that one coach, though, if it wasn't for my mom teaching me and then that one coach telling me to never listen to anybody, I don't think I would be switch hitting. So I definitely appreciate those two people for sure.
Yeah, I never understood why they would tell you not to switch hit if you're good at it. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, yeah, I guess it wasn't a matter of I'm good. I mean, to be honest, I'm confident. I always think I'm good at stuff. But I think I was growing up. I was developing as a player. You know how some people are like Javi Baez. I mean, you saw him take a left-handed swing in BP and then even in a game. Like you're telling me someone obviously was like, hey, Javi, we obviously think your one side is good. But at the same time, like I just felt like I was always meant to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I just stuck with it.
It's kind of it's a known fact, maybe a lesser known fact, that Javi is actually left-handed at everything he does in life except playing baseball.
And I didn't even know that. That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
So he decided to take a hack one time. But to comment on your story about becoming a switch hitter, I'm pretty sure that's what Chipper Jones did as well. So
that's pretty.
No, that was a joke. No, that was a joke. That
was
just
that a
didn't
joke?
land well.
Oh,
Yeah, that did. But it didn't land well. That's how
good.
most of my comedy goes. So going from at least Big Meat Pete landed, yeah, and now Big Meat is going to figure out about the nickname too. So, when you were switching between the Padres and the A's, obviously, you were the player to be named later in the Jurickson Profar deal. What's it like to be the player to be named later? Like I always kind of feel like that player, if you will, kind of gets thrown to the side or whatever because it's just like, oh, we'll figure it out later. But a lot of times those guys can turn out to be really good pieces to a minor league and then eventually the major league roster as well.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I didn't think too much by it. I mean, and technically speaking, in terms, like I got traded for a Major League Baseball player. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, if
Right.
I'm in the minors still and they're trading for a major leaguer, that means obviously the Padres want a profile and the A's obviously wanted me to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just felt like, once again, it's just an honor and it was a blessing to go somewhere where I'm wanted as well. Not saying the Padres didn't want me, but at the same time, you're also playing for, and let's not be naive, you're also playing for 29 other teams every time you step on the field, all the yada, yada, yada. But it was funny, actually, because Austin Allen was part of that trade, and he obviously was the player that was not to be named later. And he texted me, and he was like, yo, I just have a feeling you're coming with me. And I was like, yeah, that'd be pretty dope. And then I got the call 10 minutes after the Rule 5 draft, and I was traded, and then I just lost it. Absolutely lost it. But I don't really think it's a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's kind of like that piece, like you said, that's missing, or that piece where it's like, when it comes out, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, crazy! Like we want him," or "Oh, shoot, he's going to that team."
Yeah, baseball's got a couple different terminologies that can maybe be a little misleading. Like the player to be named later. If you're a novice fan, you're going to be like, whatever, right? But like
Yeah.
to somebody who pays attention to the game, like those guys are going to be somebody who can affect it. I just always found it kind of a weird process. Like we have a trade in place. We know we're sending you this guy, but we'll figure out the rest of it later.
Yeah, I know. Like you said, it's so true. Because once again, I have no idea. I'm just going about my business, about my day, as if I'm still with the Padres, and then you get a call. It's almost like that. Like I got the call. It's like, oh yeah, buddy. By the way, you're traded. Oh, oh, okay. Hey, buddy. This is the GM from the Oakland A's. Yeah, we just picked you up. Yeah, yeah. So it was really fast. Obviously, the conversation didn't go like that, but it was just like, wow. I just have a new opportunity, and what I need to do is go in, be professional. And it sucks to a certain extent too, because I got traded and then Corona happened. So I didn't even get to really like build relationships or meet like all the guys. I'm really big on meeting guys, players, coaches, assistants, like just people, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of sucked because of course I met people, but like, to be honest, I didn't remember all their names. I didn't get a chance to build a relationship with certain players. So now that's, I guess, what I'm doing here is the player to be named later is now sort of the one that's reaching out to these guys and learning from them, trying to talk to them and build this relationship. So, because all this stuff that we do, man, to be honest, it's not just baseball. Like this is life stuff. Like this is after baseball career is over. Like these are some of the guys that I want to be around or have in my corner when I'm, say, hopefully later in my career in the big leagues, 10 years later, that we still keep in touch, we still communicate, comes to like a wedding or events and things like that. So I'm happy where I'm at now. Hopefully everything goes back to normal during next year's spring training.
Buddy, speaking of things that are outside of baseball, we are huge foodies here on the Missed Call, but there's a thing we have never discussed on here, which is candy. And you're obsessed with Sour Patch Kids. How often do you make those? How often do you make those customized bags from Sour Patch Kids?
Ooh, man, that's tough. It's not just Sour Patch, so don't get it twisted. It's everything. Everything. No, you're good. Everything and anything sort of fruity. To be honest with you, because I love fruit. So fruit in candy form is just like a plus for me. And it's funny, actually. I just actually stopped eating candy for like a month just to see how my body feels. It's kind of tough. Still got to drink like sugar drinks, but the candy part I'm just gonna lay down or put to the side a little bit just because I want to see what it's like to go. I feel like I'm gonna have withdrawals, but oh man, you cannot go wrong with Sour Patch watermelon, Sour Patch strawberry, Sour Patch regulars, Skittles. You can't go wrong with like fruity things.
Have you ever had the peach one? Have you ever had the peach Sour Patch Kids?
I've had I don't even know Harbos or the Harbor. I
yeah,
don't
like the gummy bear, like the gummy bear company.
Oh man, I've had everything. There's probably not a candy in this world maybe in the world. At least in the United States, there's probably not a candy that I haven't had.
I was going to ask, since your bio says World Traveler, what's the best candy outside of the United States that you've had?
Oh, that's a good question. Zappos from Australia, 100%.
Zappos. Now, what is that? Because I've never been to
Zappos?
Australia.
Okay, Zappos is like it's a chewy candy. It's like another version, I would say, of like a high chew, but less fruity, more like a tart, sour taste. But man, you could go
Ooh.
through a pack. There's like 7 in a pack, and I bought 2 full boxes that shipped from Australia to Florida like 3 years in college. Oh no, not in college. Yeah, no, sorry, in pro ball. I was trying to think. I've ordered a lot of candy in my life. And yeah, and 7 in a pack, and man, you can go through those like nothing. Oh my gosh.
It's just a quick trip through the 7.
Oh no. It's like it's probably like 2 to 3 minutes, maybe less.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
you put them
super
down quick.
quick.
I mean, I think that there needs to be some sort of like Marshawn Lynch had the Skittles and everybody
I
knew about
know.
the Skittles.
I low key
There's got to
tried.
be something. There's got to be something you can do, buddy.
I know that it's all about getting to the big leagues, man. Can't
I mean,
do much in the minors.
he technically did do it right here.
I did do it there. Yes, that is true.
How did you have that on deck?
That's dope. Yeah, man. I mean, pretty much that. I mean, short story, I guess. Once again, I don't really eat sunflower seeds. I don't dip. I don't do any of that. And like I said, I always love candy, and candy always gives me like a little boost. I ended up hitting a triple against LSU, and I had them in my pocket, and I was low key kind of hungry. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And there's cameras watching, so you know what, it's even better for me.
The marketing. You always got to be
Exactly.
thinking about the
Always. I'm
marketing.
always.
Buddy, that's super interesting that you said that you needed a boost, because we have a friend who played basketball at UIC in Chicago, and he wouldn't drink Gatorade. He'd drink Coke during games.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I mean, it's a little different, but sometimes I would have lemonades in my bag, sodas in my bag, whatever I can to get that quick. You know what I'm saying? Before I'm gonna go to the play, before I go on the field, because you got to think about it. I mean, we're athletes, so when I'm just standing out there in the outfield, like, to be honest, sometimes that shit gets boring. Like, it's not, So at least if I have a little sugar in my system, or I have it on me, I could eat some Skittles, eat some Sour Patch. And it's like, okay, shoot, now if I know I'm gonna get to this ball, right, left, in front, over my head. Yeah, I think it helps.
I think it's hilarious that you carry sugar on you in the field. Like, obviously we know there are guys that have like the seeds and the dip or whatever in the back pocket, but you pull out a handful of Sour Patch Kids. That's amazing.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's almost like, how is it for me? I never understood it. So like, guys have bars in the dugout. Some guys are eating bars on the field and all this stuff. Guys are dipping and some sort. Like, candy, it's just going in my mouth and staying in there. I'm not spitting it back out. Why would that technically be unprofessional?
True.
Like, I'm just trying to get
not.
I'm trying to get my fix. You guys are doing your dip, messing up your gums and stuff, whatever. I'm gonna stick to you know what? I'll mess up my teeth and get cavities. You can stick to the dip and all the problems that come with dip. That's just me.
Hey, if it works
Buddy
for you,
will
it works
be
for me.
Facts.
Buddy will be fluctuating his blood. What is it? Oh God, I can't think of it. My brother's diabetic. His blood. What is it?
Insulin?
What blood sugar. He'll be
Blood sugar, yeah.
He'll be fixing.
Oh, it spikes.
Couldn't get it out.
Buddy, just a couple more questions here. We'll get you on your way. I was
Sure.
wondering, as a center fielder, what's one thing that the average fan does not know about playing the position?
About playing center.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or the outfield in general.
It's not as easy as it looks. Everybody just thinks you just go out. You just go out there and there's a fly ball in it. No, well, sometimes in big games like the Futures game, you don't necessarily hear the ball hit the bat. You got to read it with your eyes. You're running left, right. I mean, in center, you're running into your left, into your right, in straight over your head. I mean, at every position, but you're covering the most ground, so to speak. Then you got walls behind you. You got fans yelling at you, BSing, like, oh, I got it, Then on top of that, you have other teammates that you could run into. And you really have, and more importantly than anything else, like center fielder, just like throughout the center of the field, you see catchers calling the game, pitcher and the catcher work together. Shortstop, second base are communicating. The center fielder is communicating with his corner outfielders what he sees in terms of like the swing. As well, though, the corner outfielders are also communicating, hey, he's a little late here. Hey, center, I'm going to move over a couple steps to like the opposite field of the guy who's hitting. So I guess I would say the hardest parts about playing center field can be certain reads, especially the balls coming straight at you. Sometimes those bloops will land. I mean, we're human. We're not going to catch everything. But I would say that's the toughest part. Reading the ball to a certain extent and then sometimes getting there, you know. Because, I mean, yes, there are center fielders that are fast, but some center fielders that are in the league aren't necessarily fast, but they have really good routes. And their route efficiency is like plus.
Yeah, I think for me, when I found out as a couple of years ago when I was younger about route efficiency and route running in the outfield, I always thought it was just like, oh, just see ball, run to ball, catch ball. But no, there is an efficiency to the way that you get there. But I was going to add, you talk about how hard it is for that route running. You know, I play slow pitch softball, which means I'm a phenomenal athlete. I just am past my prime. I'm just past my prime a little bit, right? And occasionally they'll stick me in right field because that means I am the worst player on the team. And it's not easy. Let me tell you, I've had many a ball go right over my head and just watch it sail over my head, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I take my cap off to any solid, any Gold Glove type outfielder. I take my hat off and bow and praise because it's really hard.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, even my friend said he'd rather take a fly ball in the infield and behind the plate than he would in the outfield. So I mean, it's respect, and I appreciate it. On behalf of all outfielders, we appreciate you and what you said because we don't always get the love that we deserve because it's not that easy, and there's only three of us. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little different, but at the same time, I mean, shoot, we're all really good. I mean, all those guys are really good. We all put in a lot of work and effort and blood, tears, sweat. You know, the whole thing. But no, man, it's a lot of fun playing. I'm so scared of ground balls, so I'm glad I'm playing in the grass.
That's hilarious. But I have to ask because I have a few Florida Gator fans out there. I have to ask you, how electrifying was Gainesville, Florida in the spring for both baseball and softball when you were there?
It was definitely, I mean, yeah, it was definitely popping. I'll tell you that. I mean, we were the best thing in Gainesville besides the volleyball team at the time that I was there, and like you said, the softball team. Basketball was all right. No, it was. Oh man, I'm just sorry. I'm just thinking about it in my head. It was sort of sometimes like, oh, okay, that's the baseball players. You know what I'm saying? Like on campus, oh, those guys are number one, like that. Like the stuff you sort of see in movies and stuff. We were sort of living that reality, like especially the guys and the girls that were really into baseball specific or softball, like students more than anything. Of course, we had our booster club people and all that stuff, but like the students, the diehard students that would come, that really got me like fired up all the time. Like seeing those guys, having sometimes people come up to me while I'm walking around, and be like, "Hey, great game last night," or "Hey, yo, you guys can get them back next time." Like the fans and the people in the community of Florida, they definitely cared about academics, but really, really, really cared about their sports.
That's awesome.
It's the SEC. It's also the SEC.
And that too, yeah. I mean, you got guys like Tim Tebow who came to there, Coach Spurrier. I mean, the list goes on of those guys. So it's almost like when you're there, you're not living up to that, but you want to do as best as you can for the guys that came through. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I'm playing baseball, that doesn't mean obviously like when we walk past the football stadium, we see Tim Tebow statue, we're like, damn, I want to be one of the Florida Gator greats to come through this university type thing.
Well, I think you're well on your way, buddy, and we're very excited to see where your career takes you because I have a feeling that we're going to be watching a Buddy Reed debut, and I'm going to be elated when that happens because we had you on first. It's kind of like when you discover a band and then everybody else discovers the band. That's how it's going to feel for us here at the Missed Call Podcast. Last question before we let you go. I go by Sauce on the podcast. Cub goes by Cub on the podcast. And you go by Buddy, even though that's not your government name. So we all kind of have alter egos. What is the alter ego of Buddy? What are some of his characteristics? What's your alter ego?
Shoot. Well, okay. I guess I have two nicknames. Buddy Love from the Nutty Professor.
Okay.
Just when I was playing baseball in Tampa before I signed to go to Florida, one of my coaches just called me Buddy Love, and it sort of stuck, obviously. And then another one is Google Boy. So a lady down the street at the convenience store from my house. I love going there just to get candy and snacks and stuff. I just scoot there, and I never bring my wallet. I always use my iPhone because 2020 we're really on that technology shit, whatever. And I always pay with Apple Pay.
Uh-huh.
And she's a little nice, really really nice Venezuelan lady, and we speak Spanish and English to each other. And she was just like, "Oh, you love using the internet. You're always on your phone. You know what I'm gonna call you? I'm just gonna call you Google Boy because I'm always paying with Apple Pay, and every time I'm in there, I'm always on my phone showing her something new about the world or whatever." So that's sort of stuck with me. That hopefully for as long as I play baseball is gonna be my Players Weekend nickname.
Google Boy.
Google Boy, yeah, for her. She's really nice.
Buddy, Buddy Heald also goes by Buddy Love. So I gotta ask you, who deserves Buddy Love more, you or Heald?
I'd probably give it to him. I mean, won the 3-point competition. I follow him just because we had the same name. In college, it was interesting. I switched my Instagram to Buddy Love, and we ended up actually communicating a little bit, just like, hey, just like athletes do. Hey, man, I wish you the best in your career. I mean, and to see what he's doing now in the NBA with the Kings, and how he does, he obviously, you see in those videos, he wants to get paid. I mean, he deserves to get paid all the hard work he's put in, and what he did at Oklahoma, and what he did, like I said, with the Kings now. It's really cool to see, and it was really cool to talk to him for that brief time.
Yeah, but he is also Buddy.
Buddy Buckets. Yeah, he's also Buddy Buckets.
Yeah, then I'll just have to be Buddy Baseball or something. But yeah.
Ooh.
I like that a lot.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
Buddy Baseball, Buddy Love, Google Boy, Buddy Reed. We appreciate you coming on to our podcast, blessing us with so much of your time. We've had a lot of fun. We hope you can say the same. But thank you again for coming on, and good luck in this COVID season. Good luck going forward. And like I said, when you make it, just know number one fans are sitting right here.
I'll DM you guys probably second after my parents when I hopefully get the call.
Awesome. That'd be the coolest.
That'd be dope. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for having me on. Hopefully I can be on, when I'm in the league.
Hopefully we'd love to have you back.
Cool.
All right. This has been episode 113 of the Missed Call Podcast with Buddy Reed. We'll catch you guys next time.